As a small business in a large and internet-driven industry, what would be your strategy to stand out from the big boys?
Well, it's a tough one, to be honest, because first of all, talk about internet, yeah? To me, the internet, and I don't know a lot about internet, so I'm excusing it, let's say, but to me, looking at it from layman's terms, the internet is quite simple. It's a great way for people to start businesses and to reach everybody. But at the same time, it's low barriers to entry, which means anybody can do it. Anybody can open your web page up and look exactly what you're doing. So to me, the best web-based businesses are the ones with a niche. The ones what's either selling a unique product, because really, how do you compete against, let's say you're selling insurance, how do you compete with, let's say, I don't know, Go Compare and all that. The problem with Go Compare in Money Supermarket, they're all spending £26 million a year each on advertising. So it's how do you compete and where do you start, where do you get your cash from. So to me, you've got to have a niche. So the web, to me, the internet is fantastic, but I think you've got to have something a little bit more substantial behind it, unless you're very lucky. I think, how did I come away with Clintons? All what I can do is compare myself against Clintons. When I first started off in '97, I had one store. Clintons had 1,200 stores, making £40 million. So I were this little nothing, this spot on this rug in a corner, and all these other spots were Clinton cards. Yeah, dear me. Never thought about it like that. Yeah, I were in the corner somewhere. But at the same time, you know, you have got to, if you're going to grow to a certain size, you've got to try and manoeuvre yourself. First thing I did, I grew a business where I didn't shout about what I did. I didn't shout about the profits. I didn't go in trade magazines. I kept myself very much to where I was. The other thing is, somebody once told me something, and I always remember this. It's never the biggest business versus the smallest. It's always the quickest versus the slowest. And there's one thing all these big corporations have got. They're like oil tankers, and they can't turn. They really do struggle to turn. What small businesses have got, you can, it's like, you know, Wild Mouse, you know, that thing at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. You can go anywhere. But these big corporate organisations, of which Card Factory is starting to grow into one. And when we say, let's go left, let's think about that. 2 years ago, we went left, sharp left. And things are different. What small businesses have got, first of all, your big corporations will pay no attention to you because they think you're a fly. They just who? You know, it used to be what? Card Factory, they're who's he? What? That's Numpty and Wakefield. You know, he's not interested. But you get to a certain size, and what you need to try and do is get to a certain size before they really recognise you, because once you're on the radar, they will try everything to get rid of you, like the in-house supply chain, tried to stop us. So to me, there's a time to shout about what you do, but don't rush into it, you know. Try and grow underneath the radar, and then, but it's tough. It's tough. I'll tell you where we are now. Card Factory is now, I've got to say this, I like saying it. Card Factory now 560 stores with a 70 million profit. Clinton's 600 stores, so they've shut lots and lots down, making 7 million. And just about to probably go pop, gone.
So how is Card Factory making more money if the margins are less?
Well, is it a secret? No. We design, we manufacture, we distribute, we retail. We are completely seamless, our integrated model. Clinton's, let's work it from the front. They retail, they don't have a warehouse. So they have maybe 1,000 different suppliers, of which each store contacts those suppliers individually. The suppliers then have got to make a markup. The people who they buy off, the printers, have got to make a markup. And once you put all these margins on top of markups, you get to a high retail price. Our gross margin, put it this way, you know, our average selling price of a card is 87 pence. Our average price from top to bottom. Clinton's is £2.40. We make margin, we make 74% gross margin. Clinton's make 67. So how can that be? It's because we've engineered the whole supply chain, we've taken it in-house.
So why haven't they done the same then?
Sorry?
Why haven't they done what you've done?
Because like I said to you before, what have you got over a big oil tanker business? Complacency. And I think all you've got to do is read the book by Don Lewin Clinton about his life. And I think that's absolutely, I bought it and I was fascinated because I thought I read it and I read how egos, old corporate culture, stuck in the ways, dinosaur, and I thought I've got a chance here. And we really did shaft them right. You know, it's like punching something right through it. We had them. But at the same time, the only reason we really wasn't able to do it is because Clinton was so stuck in the ways. No chance.
And so you think it's too far for them now? If they're ready to.
Clintons, they can't afford to pay the rent bill as this ended.
This quarter.
Today, tomorrow. They can't afford to pay them, so they're renegotiating with landlords now. That's how bad they are, and that's a huge chain. So to me, everybody's got a big opportunity against the big boys. You've got to understand what makes them tick. You can get there, but don't show your cards until you really have to, because they will be on your back.
Thank you.
If you could go back in time, knowing what you know now, so
Yeah.
I think that you do differently.
I'd do exactly the same. Do you know something? I would do absolutely nothing differently. I think when we talk, just going back to the lady before, what mistakes have I made? Strategically, I've been very fortunate where I've been able to employ the best management team, and I've had a great people around me as well. So it's not just me, it's a great team. I think on the smaller scale, I will probably listen less to so-called industry experts. I'm probably gone with my own gut feeling. I think there's too many, in the greeting cards especially, I don't know if this resembles many businesses, there's too many people who think they know it, and they don't. And I think the reason we did what we did, we came up with fresh ideas. So I've set one or two people on who haven't lasted long, but I've been good at getting rid of them quick, so that I can get shut. But no, I think I've kind of answered that question before. I would do nothing different. I created such a fantastic model in 12 years, which is kind of, I could never repeat it again. I wouldn't do nothing different again. It was kind of perfect.
Would you do any of it earlier? Would you have brought the supply chain production in-house earlier?
Yes, I would, but you've got to have economies of scale where, to print, economies of scale is printing so many. So yes, maybe if Hallmark and the other big boys hadn't have kind of tried to chop me in half at that point, it may have been, I think eventually we would have got to doing that, but maybe been later. So they kind of just rushed me into it. I think looking back, I think what you've got to try and do is, if you can afford to do it, you've got to have the best people surrounding you and employ the best staff and paying the best money, because you've got to have loyalty. And believe you me, when I first started Car Factory Off, I was saying to my wife Janet, well, surely if we leave this shop in Wakefield and we open one in Huddersfield, surely the manager can't run the shop as good as us. And right from that point, we left Wakefield and we opened that shop in Huddersfield, and our takers went up in Wakefield. We thought, all right, okay, you're fine. And it's like, other people can do jobs much better than you. I think you've got to let go, you've got to delegate. I think we did it pretty well, to be honest. So yeah. But I think I've answered a bit of that before. I keep rambling on, I tell you, that's me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ed.
With your experience in the commercial world and latterly in the Football League, are there any parallels available when you look at pay and rewards and the level of employee engagement that they achieve?
Let's forget football and chop that off and park it, because that is bonkers, if I'm honest with you. I think, I tell the players, what they get paid is absolutely crazy to really what they should do if they worked in my warehouse in Wakefield. It's a different planet, but that's the market rate. If you want footballers, then you've got to pay it. That's life, unfortunately. I think going back to the sensible world of proper business, which is what I had in Card Factory, we always used to incentivise people through bonus structures. It was all based on sales, and I think right now, I think Card Factory have got somewhere like 36 area managers covering the whole of the UK. And when we first started, and obviously we used to employ these area managers from everywhere, they just come to me and say, well, what are you incentivised on? P&L. Right, okay, so you get bonus on the shop's individual P&L. And I think in most people's eyes that may be quite, but to me I'm thinking, well, it's not the area manager's fault if management get that lease on that shop and they pay too much rent. We can control electric from head office, and the only thing to me, we used to incentivise people on was sales. Because to me, if you get the sales through the door, and it's up to management to make sure your margin's right, not the area manager, because what they do is control sales, then everything else falls through. So what we used to do is keep it very, very simple, and something we do at Card Factory, and maybe this is our success, just going off a little bit, something I've got a fantastic way of cutting through all the crap and getting exactly where I need to go quickly. It may take me, a dog walk, but I'll get there, and that's fantastic. I don't know how I do it, but I can get to where I want to be quickly and relatively easy. But at the same time, I've got an attention span of 20 seconds. So if somebody talks to me, honestly, I'm switched off, I'm gone. And I think when you talk about typical entrepreneurs, I think Branson's the same, he gets bored easy, and I do. So I've got to be engaged. So to me, it's like area managers, they need to be incentivised on sales. Keep it simple, just sales. Store managers, they used to say, yeah, our store manager at Clinton, they used to get incentivised on the yearly turnover. Yearly, our store managers need to be incentivised weekly. So if it snows one week, they can start on Monday and they can work to Friday in short areas. So why have big targets? Do it in small bite-sized chunks. Keep it simple. And if they fail one week, they can quickly start the week after. And just to keep it very, to me, the word is there. Just keep it simple. Don't complicate things. There's too much rocket science in this world. Very simple.
Does money equal happy staff?
I think it helps them, yeah. I think everybody likes to be rewarded financially, but I think there's more there. I think job satisfaction. I think working for employers who recognise them. And when I left Car Factory, we employed 5,000 people, so it's very difficult to recognise them all. But even walking around our warehouse, I went around yesterday and I was bumping into people. You call them by their first names. He remembers me. Little things mean so much. But I think with staff, it's recognition wherever they are, whether it's they come top on the area, they get some flowers from head office. I know it might seem quite a bit sly, but just little things. 10-year anniversary, people work for us, they get a letter to say, thanks for working for 10 years. I got a letter. It's nothing, but it means so much, and it feels not just a number in a shop in Basildon, the part of your family. So yeah, money is important, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, just job satisfaction is everything for them.
So at 10 years you get a telegram from the Queen?
Me. Yeah.
What's your view on the ever spiralling costs of running a business, and are these factors in limiting growth for businesses in our area?
Yep. I think for me, with rents, with your council taxes and raw materials and fuel, I think every business has seen an increase. So whether you're a wool manufacturer, the guy down the road who's competing with you has got the same problems. I think when you talk from one region to the other, I think it's all the same. So I think we're all in there together. I think for me, the frustrating part, if I was starting another small business up, is all the red tape. I know people talk about red tape, but HR, it's absolutely gone bonkers. Health and safety, we need it, but it's gone bonkers. So much you've got to do now. And what to do with that, you either employ a consultant, which is not cheap, or when you get bigger, you've got to employ somebody on board and do it. And these things take not just money, they take time. To me, when you should be looking at your business and driving it on, you've got all these regulations around you. And I know we need them, and I think we're a better world for having them, but at the same time, they're so onerous. It's absolutely bonkers. So yeah, your first bit of the question, I think unfortunately raw materials, it's life, everybody's got to deal with them. Shop rents, brilliant, it's life, What I would say, when I first started in '97, you could not get a lease. Now you can have a lease wherever you want. There's less people on the high street, so people say to me, not a good time to start a shop up. Fantastic time, because the rents are also 25% cheaper, and you can get better. For one, they'll let sole traders in, and you can get good deals. So to me, it's a great time to start up on the high street. But getting back to the biggest issue, it's got to be red tape. I would have thought, if I had a show of hands now, everyone would say that is an absolute nightmare. As a one-man band, not bad, because you yourself start to employ people.